The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the presenters and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Empowerment Network or this radio station. Please continue to consult your doctor for all medical care advice and treatment.
It's time for the Healthy Focus Radio Show, the voice of health issues and prostate awareness in the St. Louis urban community with the Dream Team of Health. St. Louis, sit back, relax, and listen as the Dream Team of Health attempts to close the gap on prostate cancer and other types of cancer and other health issues that our community faces every day. Now here is your host, prostate cancer survivor and winner, Melvi Shahid.
Good evening, St. Louis, and welcome to another edition of the Healthy Focus Radio Show, a radio show presented by the Empowerment Network. We're broadcasting live here at the beautiful studios of KXEN 1010 AM, a station where health and faith are now coming together. I'm your host today, Melvi Shahid, prostate cancer survivor and advocate. On our show today, calling in from Kansas City, Missouri, are our good friends from the Prostate Network, Brother Steve Henson and Cesar Belvin. Let's speak to Steve and Cesar after we meet the Dream Team of Health St. Louis. Put your hands together today and help me welcome my co-host and my friends, the lady with the big smile.
It's Beverly Dotson. Hey, Melvin.
Hey, welcome, Belle. And she's still hanging out with us. Lady Riri.
Hey, this is Rion Barrett, so I'm still staying with these guys.
Yeah, we haven't ran you off yet, huh?
Well, welcome back. I know you had that trip last week, and you was calling in from Boston. Good to have you back home safely.
I'm glad to be back home. Thank you,
After all
Melvin.
that snow.
Yeah, I seen that on your Facebook post. A lot of snow up there, huh?
It was a lot of snow, but I'm here. I'm back home safe and sound.
It's a blessing that you're back.
Yes, sir. Learned a great deal. I'm very appreciative to my job, Christian Northeast Hospital. They have entrusted in me to go and get the knowledge and bring it back, and I'm going to be presenting on Monday morning.
That sounds good.
All right.
So since you're back, let's give out that magic number. I got the bell back.
You got that bell. It's 314-881-1696.
In St. Louis, you can call in or text in your message today. Give me that text number over there.
It's the same. It's 314-881-1696.
Yeah, call in and join the conversation today. Team, let's start the show by sending a shout out. Let's send a big shout out and a happy anniversary to our friends over at the St. Louis American.
Right. Yes.
St. Louis American, 90 years of serving, informing, and being an advocate to empower the St. Louis community. That's fantastic.
Yes, thank you, St. Louis America, for keeping our community with awareness in the script of the ink.
Yeah, I mean, a big shout out to Dr. Suggs,
Yes.
Chris King, Sandra Jordan, and the entire staff of the largest newspaper in Missouri,
African
American newspaper. 70,000 copies each week strong.
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic.
That is.
That's a lot of newspapers, too.
That's a lot of ink.
A lot of ink.
Yes,
a lot of
it
trees.
Is. Yes. But we are educated. We are enlightened.
Yeah.
And we have the awareness.
And I'm blessed that the Empowerment Network are community partners to this great newspaper.
Yes, very appreciative to them.
So St. Louis, pick up your copy this week of the St. Louis American, and don't forget to read Health Matters, because your health matters.
It does.
Now, team, turn in the health page.
Come on, let's turn that page, Melvi.
Let's find out what's happening in the health news this week. And I noticed that the opiate drug overdose was back in the news again.
Again?
And it's sad. The numbers are showing and suggesting that the opiate epidemic is getting worse, according to the CDC.
It is. I can believe that, Melvi.
You know, the U.S. is seeing the highest drug overdose death rate ever recorded in our country. Check out the numbers, team. 5 people every hour overdose. According to the CDC, more than 165 people die every day, and 90% of them relapse in the first year.
They do.
It's sad.
That's very true.
And, you know, the emergency rooms are off the chain now. They said the emergency rooms across the country brace each night for overdosing with a 99% increase.
That is very true, Melvin.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's very true.
It's really sad when you have your police officers armed with that medication, just to revitalize people who have an overdose.
Yeah. This is sad. So the current problem is also affecting newborns.
Yeah, because you have a lot of moms out here that are turning to that drug, and the babies are getting affected. They are affected by the drugs that's going into their systems as well. And
see, the sad part is that we can't keep incarcerating our way out of this problem.
No, we cannot.
We can't just keep locking people up. This is an epidemic in our government and our society. We got to address this problem.
Yeah.
We got to address this problem. So we're going to be giving out more updates on this show and maybe trying to get an expert to come in and talk about this issue.
We really do, Melvie.
Now turning the health page.
Let's turn it again.
Our friend Dr. Angela Brown, and she's been on the show quite a few times, had a great article this week in the St. Louis American, and the title was "Eat Less Salt or Else." Now I wonder what the "or else" means.
Or else means hypertension, or else it will lead to other health issues that you will encounter.
The article talks about dietary sodium and high blood pressure also.
Yes.
Now, according to the Journal of American Heart Association, they state that 5.6% of sodium in food is added during home prep.
That's true.
Prep. Only 14.7 is natural in food and tap water. I didn't know tap water carries sodium.
Yeah, salt. Yeah. You got to purelize it.
But 70.9% of sodium comes from restaurant food and is commercially processed food. So she stated like this. She said anything that comes in a can, package, frozen dinners, lunch meat, or anything that you can open, heat, and eat is processed food.
Yeah.
It's processed.
Well, you have to ask the question, what can we eat then?
Well, we got to eat closer to the earth.
Well,
we got to eat out of the earth. We got to go down to the marketplace.
I was there yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
I love the food. Yeah, we got to eat closer to the earth,
Okay.
And another thing she's suggesting to the St. Louis community, throw the salt shakers away. Get rid of them.
I'm sorry. Can you get rid of your salt shaker?
I wish I can put it in my purse like some hot sauce. Because some people can't cook.
Wrong answer.
Yeah. Wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
Well, it's wrong for people go in the kitchen who think they can cook.
Because what's happening when you go to restaurants, before you even taste your food, people are automatically picking up the salt shakers. They're automatically adding salt before they even taste their food.
It's conditioned.
Oh, wow. Check this out. Another great article. No, wait a minute. Turning the health page.
Come on, Melvie, let's turn it for the third time.
Another great article in the St. Louis American this week was on childhood diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is usually an adult disease, but obesity has jumped more than 30 in 2000 and 30% from 2000 to 2009 in our children. Obesity is one of the causes of type 2 diabetes and is climbing in our children.
You know why, Melvie?
There's no recess in school anymore.
They have all this. They have all this energy, and they're clowning. And you're right. There's no recess for them.
But the only thing they're burning up is is in their fingertips.
Yeah, on these electronics. That's all they do.
They got the spinners. I really don't see what the spinners was,
I tried to use that, and I was just getting dizzy just spinning it.
What's that?
It's the little spinner that's supposed to keep people content.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
That was a nice way to say it.
So, St. Louis, our children must maintain a proper diet.
Yeah, they do.
Too much sugar, St. Louis, and this is leading to blindness and even death. We need proper diet, more exercise, and bring back the recesses.
Yes, we do need that.
Gym 3 times a week.
Yeah, you remember we used to have gym 3 times a week?
Do they still have gym in school?
Honestly, I don't know.
Wow.
They don't. And when you go to high school, the kids, what they call gym, is sitting on the stage listening to
the music.
Headphones.
Yeah, that's it.
And then they wonder why our children are so obese now.
Yeah.
So that's another great topic that we'll be talking about in the future. But once again, turn in that health page.
All right, Melvin, we on that 4th page now.
On our show today, we decided to reach across the airways, team, all the ways to Kansas City, Missouri.
Any barbecue coming with that? Because we got the salt shakers.
No barbecue. No, get off the food now.
You were saying salt.
Now, we decided to bring 2 prostate cancer organizations to the airways of 10:10 a.m. That's right, St. Louis. On our show today, we're blessed to have on the phone lines our friend from the Prostate Network in Kansas City, Missouri. We decided to bring St. Louis and Kansas City together.
Yes,
Two cancer organizations that have similar missions is here today. We're going to meet Steve and Caesar right after the break and right after this beautiful song. Come on, Ashley, hit it. Smooth jazz.
I like that one.
Smooth jazz.
What was the name of that, Melvin?
Jazz Masters. Smooth jazz on a Sunday afternoon.
You
St.
know
Louis.
it, all right.
You called yourself the Jazz Master, or was that the Jazz Master?
That was the Jazz Masters.
Because you think you're the master of a lot of things.
You better go ask somebody. Welcome back, St. Louis.
Welcome
to the new
back.
and improved Healthy Focus Radio Show. I'm your host today, Brother Melvin Shaheed, in the studio today with the dream team of health. The lady with the big smile is
It's
here.
Beverly Dotson.
And Riri is in the house.
Yes, Rion Barris.
Thank you, team. Thank you for being here today on this really cloudy day.
Yes, but it's
St.
nice
Louis.
outside.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Spring is next week, right?
I can't wait.
It's Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
My good friend Lori Everett will be turning 47 years old.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Elle. You know it.
So before we meet our guests, let's do a quick shout out to our friends who helped to sponsor the show today. I'd like to give a big shout out and a thank you to our friends over at the Zero Prostate Cancer Walk and Run.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making this
and
show
thank you.
possible.
Yes.
And you know we can't forget about our angel.
Who is that angel over there?
Margie Price.
You
Can't
know
forget
it.
about our friends over at the St. Louis Men Group Against Cancer for sponsoring our show today. And so we're blessed to have an angel that's watching over us.
Always.
Everybody needs one.
Yes, right. Thank you, Margie.
Yes.
St. Louis, like us on Facebook, join us on Twitter, join the conversation today by calling a magic number.
Oh, we got that bell
Got
back.
the bell back.
314-881-1696. And you can also text that number, 314-881-1696.
So if you are a male in the St. Louis area and you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, we have a support group just for you. St. Louis, the Empowerment Network support group meets the second Saturday of each and every month at the Metropolitan Village Apartments, 3114 Franklin at 10 o'clock a.m. in the community room. We're celebrating 10 years this year at the Empowerment Network. This is our anniversary year. So we kept our guests waiting long enough.
Yes.
We kept them waiting long enough. They're on the phone lines today. St. Louis, put your hands together and welcome to the show today, all the way from KC. Steve and Caesar, they got to be on the lines. I know line 2?
Yes. Hey, Mr. Steve. Hey, Mr. Caesar.
Hello.
Hi, it is such an honor to be on with you.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Top
Good
of the day to you,
afternoon.
my friends.
Yes. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're so thankful and privileged to be on the airways with you, sharing a common goal to end prostate cancer in our areas. And nationwide. It's an honor. It was a pleasure meeting Melvin in Washington, D.C. That was God sent.
Right,
yes.
right. I mean, but no, it was an honor meeting the both of you also. For years, I have been keeping up with you, over the internet. We've been getting your emails in. So, I mean, it was an honor just meeting an organization that's helping to save lives in the Kansas City area. And it's a blessing to have organizations that are saving lives around our nation from a disease that's claiming lives. That disease is called prostate cancer. So let's kind of jump into the stories real quick. Steve, why don't you start off? Tell us tell us a little bit about your story around. Oh, wait a minute. First of all, are you a prostate cancer survivor?
Yeah, here's my story and how we got started and what we're doing. I was trying to get into Boy Scout camp as an adult leader, and my doctor, thank God, he did a PSA screening on me, and they discovered an aggressive form of prostate cancer, and that started my journey. I was scared. It was a dark place. I didn't even know what this was, and I met Caesar, and we both started our journey about the same time, and we were able to kind of help each other. And it was one of these things that it's such a lonely place when you get told you have cancer, and if you've got some friends that you can lean on that are in the same shoes, it's a very powerful thing. And so that's what we started out doing. We were just a couple of guys, and we had a mission to help others. And we were very fortunate that Gilda's Club in Kansas City, the cancer support community, reached out to us, and they gave us a home. And so we started having support meetings. And when we did that, people in the community saw what we were doing, and they appreciated it. And it was a very humbling experience. We had churches come to us and invite us to their health fairs. And we had all sorts of different things in the community invite us there to help us get connected to the survivors. And we've been off doing this, and we've added on. We have 2 meetings a month at 2 different locations, one at a place called Turning Point on the first Wednesday night each month, and then one at Gilda's Club on the third Wednesday night. And we're there for the survivors, and we're also there to give these people that are trying to care for our survivors. We have people doing research in our community, and we invite them to come and tell people what they're doing. And so we're trying to connect all the things that we can for all the right reasons. We want everybody who is in our club to have the very best care and to have whatever information that we can provide to them available and a place for them to go. And we want all the people that are taking care of our survivors to have everything they possibly need, because they're doing such important work to us. These are not just numbers now. This is our friends, and Caesar and I are connected with their families, and they're counting on it. And we know that what you guys are doing over in St. Louis is priceless. What we're doing here together on this is a really wonderful way to communicate to the people, because people don't know about this disease. They're unaware. Men aren't. They're kind of in the dark, and we're trying to shine a light on it and let men know that they need to go to the doctors, and we need the doctors to know that they've got to screen these guys for this, because early detection, as you guys all know, is the key. And so if we can get men to have health care, we need health care expansion. We need everybody in Missouri to have care and be getting to the doctor, and that's the kind of mission we're on.
Right. Brother Caesar.
What's up, Brother Melvin?
What's going on? Well, hey, bounty hunter, huh? Are you the bounty hunter? Are you the bounty hunter in KC?
Hey, I'm the bounty hunter. Melvin, they call me the bounty hunter because I seek men so they can get care and get checked.
Right.
All right.
I'm a 7-year survivor of stage 4 prostate cancer.
So tell us a little bit about your journey real quickly, Brother Caesar.
Well, Melvin, I've always been athletic and healthy, and I started a new job, and I had to take a physical. I wasn't a doctor goer, so when I went to the physical, and the doctor, he says, you have cancer. Okay, the association with cancer is death. So I was I was in a dark spot. I met Steve, and we brainstormed, and we came up with the idea of helping men to prevent them from going what we both had went through. When they said stage 4, there's not a stage 5.
Right.
I mean, it's a stage 5, but it's not down here on Earth. And
right.
I am just honored to meet Steve and doing what we're doing in Kansas City to save lives, to reach men. But they call me the bounty hunter because when I'm out there, I can be walking down the street. I got a pocket full of cards or whatever, and I'll talk to a stranger. If we have health fair events and I see somebody look at our table and they see prostate cancer and they go the other way, I go get them. That's why I'm the bounty hunter.
But you know what? But you know what? I can contest to that because I mean, in Washington D.C., you were on your job up there. I mean, when we was walking the halls of Capitol Hill, you were hunting then at that time. Men, our elected officials. You was asking everybody, have you been tested? Because you understand that early detection is the best protection. Now, you mentioned stage.
That's the key.
Yeah, you mentioned stage 4. Did you have to? What kind of treatments did you have to take? If you don't mind telling us.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm serious. Hey, I own this. Okay, I've done almost all the treatments. I didn't have it removed because my job was very physical. I was loading trucks at UPS. But, I had my biopsy, all 12 samples with cancers. My PSA starting off was 100. And so I started off with radiation, 43 radiation treatments, and with a chemotherapy pill. And then the cancer didn't react to the radiation in that. So I started off on hormone treatments, Lupron. And then the cancer, it still didn't go with that. So then they had me graduate to another hormone treatment called Firmagon.
Right. Okay.
And I was on Firmagon with Cassidex, and the side effects of that, there's something else: weight gain, the hot flashes, and I've been on them so long. So I just told the doctor, I said, Doc, I just don't want to do this anymore. So recently, about a month and a half ago, I had surgery, and I had my testicles removed, and I go back to the doctor Thursday for a PSA drawing, and then I will talk with him Friday, so we'll see what's the next step in my journey. But, they gave me a 3 to 5 year survival rate, which they do a lot of times. But, see, I've been blessed. So
go ahead, bro.
I'm in here
go ahead, man.
I'm in here for the long haul, and I don't want anybody to have to go through this unnecessarily. That's why we educate men. The first thing you have to do is educate men.
Indeed.
Okay, let them know their family, find out their family history if they can, and don't be afraid to talk about it because there are people that love you. You got loved ones, you got kids, you got wives, So I reach out. I don't care if you're catching the bus. I'm gonna talk to you. In church, wherever,
Steve, I have a question.
I mean, I dare you to get a tank of gas with Caesar at the station and not hear about this.
Well, I've seen them in action. And real quickly, Caesar, stage 4 prostate cancer. What went through your mind? What went through your mind when the doctor told you that, man?
My mind went blank, Brother Melvin, at first because, see, I didn't know anything about prostate cancer. My mom was ill, and she had been in the health field, but I didn't want to share that with her because I didn't want that to hurt her demise. So I was lost. I don't have any brothers or sisters, and I was afraid. Okay, I've been raised in the church, and so I start praying, and God put Steve Henson in my life. I met Steve, and I went through the treatments, and, I was looking at everybody when I was getting treated that were coming into the hospital, and, it was a tough time. And as time went, I got stronger mentally, okay? And then I started reaching out and talking to people. When I go in the hospital now, hey, people sit around looking sad. Hey, we're going don't have a cheerleading up in here. You know, I'm talking to everybody. Hey, I'm talking to everybody. How you doing? Okay, so what you getting treatment?
But that's the truth.
We're going to party up in here,
That's him.
you know.
That's him. That's Caesar. Yeah. I mean, Caesar has that personality. I mean, he talks to everybody, and he's a social butterfly. Really, he really is. He talks to everyone about a disease that's claiming lives in our community. And I'm really, the Empowerment Network is really just excited to meet a organization that's in the Kansas City area that's doing similar works to what we're doing, and you just helping to save lives. That's what this mission is all about for the Empowerment Network, and that's what this mission is all about for the Prostate Network, saving lives. Am I saying that right?
You said it.
Mr. Steve and Mr. Caesar, this is Beverly, the lady with the big smile. Hey, I'm doing wonderful on this Sunday. I thank you guys both for sharing your stories. I heard Mr. Caesar say he did not have any brothers or sisters. Mr. Caesar, do you have family? And the question behind that one is, were you guys the first in your family to be diagnosed with prostate cancer?
Let me share that. So my family, unfortunately, kept it a secret. So my grandfather had prostate cancer, and my uncle had it. And I was told that by my doctors, if I would have known, I could have been getting screened up like maybe 10, maybe 15 years before I was diagnosed. They would have been able to determine that I had this. And if you know about this disease, you know that the earlier it's caught, the less invasive the treatments are. And also the better the survival rate. 5-year survival rates with this caught early are nearly 100%. And so, the idea of men not talking about this is so prevalent. When we were in Washington, we heard senators and congressmen stand up there and say how they had, gone through this. And every one of them said, yeah, and I swore my staff to secrecy. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, that's not right, because I heard a researcher who was doing all sorts of wonderful work say that for the men, the research isn't as far along as it is for the ladies, and it's because men aren't talking about it. Just as many men are getting prostate cancer as there are women getting breast cancer.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
We're lucky to get 500 people out for our run walk for prostate cancer, but they get 50,000 out there for the breast cancer one.
Right.
And so we've got this systematic issue, and so that's why it's so important what you guys are doing here on the radio.
Right.
You're doing an incredible job educating people. You're saving lives.
Well, what we did at the Empowerment Network, we made this disease a conversation. We engaged in conversation. You change the conversation by engaging, by talking about it, by educating, by informing, and by empowering the community with knowledge and with hope. But let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back right after this break to our brothers in KC. In the KC area. We'll be right back with you right after this break.
What a game. Final score, 99 for the East and 100 for the West.
Do you know what the score is? Your PSA score. My doctor diagnosed me with prostate cancer. After having surgery to remove my prostate, I'm cancer-free. Too many men don't know their PSA score, and for African-American males, the risk is even higher for dying of this treatable disease. Ask your doctor for your PSA score and hit the life-winning shot. Win the war against prostate cancer.
To the new and improved Healthy Focus radio show. I'm your host today, Brother Melvin Shaheed, prostate cancer survivor and advocate. I got the dream team here in the studio today. The lady with the big smile,
Beverly Dotson.
And Riri, she's still hanging out with us.
Yes, we are embarrassed.
And we got our friends on the phone line. They calling all the way in from the KC area. Hey, y'all, real quickly, team, KC, let's give a shout out to the Zero Prostate Cancer Walk Run throughout our nation, the Zero Prostate Foundation, for all the great works that they're doing throughout our nation with all the walks that we have. Let's shout it out to them. Let's give a big shout out.
Let's give it out to Zero, baby.
Yeah, let's give it out to Zero, honestly. They do doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, those folks with Zero are top notch. Drew and Matt and Jamie and all those guys, they are amazing. And the other champions that are all around the country are doing amazing things. And by us coming together, that's what makes us all better off. You know, each time that you connect with other people that are doing similar missions, you can help them, and they can help you. Because what we're doing, there's no copyrights on anything that we've ever done here with the Prostate Network. We would happily give anything away that works. That's our mission is very, very pure. Our mission is to help survivors and to help everyone who's trying to save them. Yes. And to do everything they can. And the research that is being done that Zero is enabling is literally saving lives. They came out with multiple new drugs and treatments and tests out of the funding that has been championed by Zero. And what I'm doing is I want to enable that. I want their run walks to be as big as possible and for everyone to have all that, because I'm literally lobbying for things that will be able to save my own life, because I'm probably going to need something someday, and what they're developing now will be the things that will save my life.
Well, Steve, you know, since you're saying you're doing that to change lives, what do you think our government is doing right and wrong as it concerns prostate cancer?
Well, in Missouri, there's one thing that really kind of, I don't want to be negative, but I want it fixed, and there is a Show Me Healthy Women program.
You're right.
Guess what there isn't? There isn't one for men.
That's
it's
right.
Not, there should be Show Me Healthy Missourians. You know, men are left out, I'm afraid. You know, our government is not doing the advancement on the things of awareness and education and screening for prostate cancer, and that is the primary issue for men. And so men are being left out, and we want to see that changed. We don't want anything taken away from the ladies, but the ladies are ahead of us, and so we want to model our activities after what they're doing.
Right.
You know, they're not the ladies that are surviving breast cancer and ovarian cancer and stuff like that. We know they're doing great work. And I talk to them, and they have us at their events, and what they're saying is, hey, we didn't survive in order just to see our husbands die. And so they want the men to have all this.
Yes.
And unfortunately, today, it isn't happening.
You're right.
And so it's only the work of for the state of Missouri, it's the work of the Zero, Empowerment Network, and Prostate Network. Our government isn't doing anything to educate people on this.
You're right. Mr. Steve and Mr. Caesar, one of the things that I hear both you guys are saying is that men are always being left out. Have you ever thought about just partnering with the breast cancer group when they do their walk, the men do their walk, and watch the unity come together? That will be so beautiful.
We go to their event. We take our blue flag and our information to their run walk. Are you guys
well received when you do that?
Very, very well so.
That's good.
That's fantastic.
They are amazing people, and like I said, we're not trying to compete.
Right.
We want to learn from them. They have established this stuff years before us, and they've been doing it, and we just want to learn from them.
Yeah, just model the program.
We're trying to unite. We have too much division in our country as it is. Okay. So we're trying to unite with the women. Hey, that's when it started off, Adam and Eve, okay?
Yes.
But see, we have to unite and see the women when we hook up and go to their events. You guys need to talk to my husband. You know, that's why you'll see the men out at the events shying away and stuff. And hey, that's why they got that target on when the bounty hunter sees them. You know.
Hey, tell us. Tell us a little bit about your collaboration and your working with the Kansas City Royals up there in Kansas City.
Well, that's kind of how it started. So we had the people in our community reach out to and try to help us, and one of them was from our NCI hospital, and they wanted to do an event on Father's Day at the Royals, the Kansas City Royals game, and we were pretty humbled by the invitation. And stuff started coming in the mail. I was like, they're really going to do this. And there was going to be an opening pitch and catch. So Caesar went out there and practiced. I was like, if it doesn't deserve it, it's your fault. And, well, he didn't get a chance to do that because on the Friday before that Father's Day, the doctors heard about what we were doing. And they loved it so much, they nominated us to sit in this honorary seat, this Buck O'Neill Legacy seat, for people in our community that are doing things. And it came with like publicity. So it was like up on the scoreboard, and they told our story. And we had survivors out there passing out information as people came into the game. And we're going to do that again this year. This will be our 4th year Prostate Cancer Awareness Day at the Keg.
That's fine.
Well,
And,
Caesar, I have a question. With you all have a lot of events on your webpage. I see you all have Dr. Day, the NFL Crucial Catch. You all have the 55-minute of sex, drugs, and audience participation. Then you have this thing called the Crawl for Cancer. You all have a lot of things going on that sounds very interesting. So could you talk about some of those?
The Crawl for Cancer, we've been very fortunate. The Crawl for Cancer is an event in Kansas City that raises money, and they donate that money to local charities that are trying to help. And so the Crawl for Cancer actually gave us the proceeds. They had, I think, 5,000 people go out there and crawl to different pubs, and the pubs donated the beer, and the Crawl for Cancer collected the money, and then they passed it on to us, and we're using that money to buy materials and to build our network and keep our website and everything, all our socials, everything up to date.
That's fantastic. Hey, Caesar, can you see the impact? Yeah. Can you see the impact of the Prostate Network? Can you see that impact and what it has done in your community?
Most definitely, Mel. When we go out and we have our T-shirts on in the community, people recognize us and people say, "Hey, I heard about you guys." I see men. I had a gentleman at my church. I had reached out to him. My church backs me. I'm in the inner city. Steve and I are brothers from different mothers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and you probably can tell by the verbiage. But I had a gentleman tell me the other day at church. He says, I went and started my treatment. He didn't want to talk about it when I first mentioned it a few months ago, but then he came up to me and said, how did you feel after you did radiation? And then I told him, and I have neighbors that I grew up childhood friends that, we've grown and we've gone different ways. And I reached out and I get a text, hey, I went and got my PSA checked, and unfortunately a couple of them had prostate cancer, but they get in touch with me to let me know in the community. The one thing is there's nothing shy about me. So, I make sure that the community knows what the Prostate Network is doing, and my face is very visible. Now, you still get those that don't want to talk about it, but that's when, I leave the contact information so they can get back in touch. My job, I work at UPS, they support me. I work at a gym, they support me. People all around, the impact is huge. It's something that we didn't have before Steve and I started the Prostate Network.
So are there any other organizations in Kansas City like the Prostate Network?
Well, I'm a little prejudiced, and no, Melby, there's not.
But that's okay. That's all right.
That's why this thing worked for us. When we did this, and there wasn't anything there, and so we were kind of groundbreakers, and that's why all these people just reached out to us. They're like, "This is fantastic."
Right.
And so we've got some momentum. We've got a little wind in our sail now.
That's great.
And,
that's great.
It feels great because we know. It was kind of crazy. So a lot of things that we would do, Caesar and I do, be like, kind of look at them like, holy shit, are we supposed to do this? And, well, it turns out it is because there's another organization, the Prostate Cancer Research Institute, and they have a big convention out in L.A. each year. And they give out a prize for whoever did the most for our disease, for our cause. And they honored me with that award this last year. And so it tells me that, yes, this is absolutely the right thing to do. And I'm very passionate about it. I tell people I've got two jobs, one that I get paid for and one that I love to do.
Indeed.
And I bet you guys know which one I love to do.
That's fantastic.
Hey Melvin.
Yeah, go ahead, Caesar.
Hey, I just want your listeners are hearing out there, tell them if they don't get on the job and these men start coming and getting checked, the bounty hunter will be in St. Louis.
Oh,
okay?
wow.
Come on in.
Hey, tell us when you coming on to St. Louis, you and Steve.
We're gonna come up to your meeting in May.
Oh, that's fantastic. And, we're excited about that. We're looking forward to having you, Kansas City. Come on into St. Louis and just join us. We'll pray together, and then we're going to share some of our best practices that we have in St. Louis with you.
Looking forward to that day.
Yeah, so Caesar, I have a question for you. Given that you say you're the bounty hunter, how do you how do you dispel this myth about the finger when it comes to the men? Because a lot of men say, "Nah, I'm not."
What?
Go ahead.
Okay. See, men, they're macho and they think that's a violation. Okay. Before I knew anything about prostate cancer, I had an incident in college where we had to get a physical. And the guys were sitting out there, and I'm like, what is it? And they said, well, this, you have to get your rear checked, and I said, well, everything's good back there, this is in college. And
Okay.
I was sitting out there, and they come, and they said, Caesar Blevins, and I didn't answer, So they said, Caesar, he wants you, so, I went on in there, and I'm a young man getting a physical for football, and had a little doctor that had big fingers, and so his last name was Dr. Hines, and I'm like, this doesn't sound right, So it didn't bother me because, see, it helped save my life.
Right.
And so I tell men, and now we have the PSA screening, okay, that, the digital, the finger, that can feel for the lumps and the enlargement and nodules and the PSA, the blood test. So there's an option, but see, in the inner city community, we want every option available because a lot of the men don't have the health care access. That's what the Prostate Network works with, to make sure that they can get screened. We have events where men can come and get screened at some of the events that we do. See, we're making it where there's no excuse.
No excuse.
There's no excuse.
No excuse. No excuse. Hey, Steve, real quickly, what do survivors need to know? What do prostate cancer survivors need to know? And talk quickly about the support that you give to those survivors.
They need to know that they're not alone.
Good.
They need to know that their wives and their girlfriends and their kids love them, and they'll support them through this. They need to know that keeping things a secret isn't necessarily the answer. They need to know that there are treatment options, lots of options, and they need to understand that they have to get multiple opinions. They also need to understand that it's not an urgent situation. As hard as it possibly is to slow things down, but that's really what needs to happen. When you get diagnosed with this, you need to really take and educate yourself, and you need to make sure that you've studied what is out there as far as options. You need to talk to these doctors, and then you need to get comfortable with your decision. And if you can get comfortable with your decision, you never look back. Then you just go full in, 110% trust in your doctor and in your treatment plan, and it'll work. And then you won't have that second guessing, did I do this right? Because there is no do-overs, with this. And so if people can really slow down as hard as it is, but realize that it's not going to make probably a difference whether you get treated this month or next month. What's going to matter the most is that you picked the right plan and you got the right doctor and that you're comfortable with it. Because if you do that, and then you got your support system in place, not everyone wants to get support, but everyone needs information. So, if they go on your website or our website, and they put in that email and that phone number, and they keep up to date with what all is going, because once you get in our club, you never get out.
That's right.
So people also have this misconception that once you got treated, you're good to go. Like, there's nothing else to worry about. That's not the case. There's a lot of people that have reoccurrences.
Right.
And so people don't know. They go to their, in our area, they go back to a rural area. So maybe they came to the city to get treated, but they live out in this rural area. Those family doctors that are seeing them, they need to be on top of that. They need to know that, if there's a change to that PSA, that's a bad red flag. And it's not like the guys who already have been treated are a whole different game to watch than the ones that haven't been treated. So I want to make sure that everyone knows that you never get away from this. Once you get in our club, you don't get out.
You're a member for life.
You're a member for life, man. You're a member for life. Yeah. Once you're a survivor, you are always a survivor. Hey, shout out that date. Do you have the date for the Zero Prostate Cancer Walk in the KC area? Do you have a date yet?
It's in September, and we are working on getting our flyer together. So we haven't published that yet.
Okay.
Caesar, I have a question for you.
Coming up.
Caesar, when you first got diagnosed, did you ever imagine you'll be doing something like this, advocating, going out, even having the nickname Bounty Hunter to save men lives, which is also saving families and communities? Did you ever think that you all would be doing anything like this?
Oh, I had no idea. And getting the nickname the Bounty Hunter, I had run into a couple bounty hunters, but it wasn't from the Prostate Network. This was something that you couldn't dream of. This was something that was destiny, turning a negative into a positive.
Right.
I mean, this is just heartfelt. I mean, I have a passion. I can't wait to get up in the morning and to go see somebody, and then if I don't get a response from them, I just want to talk to somebody. I want to be able to help.
And
somebody.
Caesar, do you and Steve go together to the hospitals and help these men out when they're having surgery, or talk to their family? Are you all involved at all?
We have not done it to the level that the empowerment group has, but like you said, we started out. Me and Steve, we have some guys going, but that's on our mission list.
That's great.
You guys are a role model, and we're learning from you.
Yeah. So what we did that you might want to replicate is we had, leading up to our run walk last year, we had 9 different doctor offices that were treating our guys. The doctors bought lunch for their staff, and they had us come in there. We took turns going to all these offices. We told them about what we were doing, and we told them about our support meetings, and we told them about the run walk. And so those doctors and nurses, there's tons of them all over the city, were fully aware of what we were doing. And so we had a really good, we had like a 50% increase in our attendance at our run walk, and I think that was probably one of the key items that we did.
That was excellent.
That really worked.
That sounds fantastic. Hey, how many people came out to the walk this year?
I don't remember. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it was growing, and we're going to keep it going. We think we can keep the momentum going. It's one of those things. Momentum is something that it's hard to get, but once you got it, man, you just don't want to lose it.
No, you don't want to lose it.
You
don't want to lose it. You got to keep it going.
We seem to have something going on our side here in Kansas City right now.
Yeah, we have some momentum, and like you said, shout out to Zero, and
shout out to Zero,
so
man.
much.
Yeah,
we thank Zero, and like you said, uniting all these groups together for the same purpose and the same mission. I mean, you can't do it by yourself.
Right, and I love the mission. The end of prostate cancer. That's what we want to see in our lifetime. We want to see this disease ended once and for all.
So, Mr. Steve and Mr. Caesar, this is the lady with the big smile. I got a question for you. Did you all at all bargain with God when you were going through, indicating that if you got through this, you promised to do this?
Yeah, our church has these blue chairs, and that's where this came from. I was sitting there like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Because and I talked. Caesar and I sat sat in the library, our first meeting, and kind of staring at each other, and like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We had a doctor come in; he was just diagnosed, and Caesar and I were like, there was definitely like a calling, because you couldn't make up what has happened for us and what we've been able to do. We don't really know. And when we try to picture, hey, this is how this event's going to go, or something like that, we're always wrong, but it always comes out better than we expect. We had a group that on the No Shade November came to us, and it was at a bar, and they brewed a couple special beers, and they had these ladies with these barber shops with this big old underwear thing. They called it the Love Sack, and they had about 100 people show up, and we educated them. Turns out there was a couple of people that got aware of it and went and got tested and are survivors now, thanks to our drinking beer.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. Hey, real quickly, we only got about 4 minutes. Hold that question 1 second, Caesar. We only got 4 minutes left in the show. For someone in the KC area that might be listening to the show today, shout out their support group. When do you meet? Give us a time. Give us an address. When those meetings are.
First Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Where you meet at?
At 6:30 at Turning Point, KC. It's at 8900 State Line out in Leawood. And then on the third Wednesday night, we meet down on the plaza at a place called Gilda's Club. And if you need information to reach that, it's at www.prostatenetwork.org. And we have all the information right there for anybody that wants to get it.
Shout out a website. Give us a number. How can you be reached all the way up there in the Kansas City area? Only got 3 minutes now.
Support at prostatenetwork.org is our email, and 913-485-1892 is the phone number. Thank you so much, and would you please, everyone, say a prayer for all the survivors at the Empowerment Network and the Prostate Network, please.
Most definitely. It's done. Truly, it's
definitely.
Done.
Hey.
Go ahead, Caesar.
I'm just gonna throw this in, Melvin. The question was asked. See, you don't bargain with God. I'm from the Baptist. So if it's part of God's plan, hey, He'll take you to it, and He'll take you through it.
So, Caesar, He orders the steps. He orders the steps.
Hey. God, hey, He knows beforehand, so, hey, it's in His hands, hey, you trust and believe in God, that's what I feel, hey, you can't go wrong.
But real quickly, guys, from the Empowerment Network, the staff, our board of directors, and more than probably 300 prostate or more survivors here in the St. Louis community, it is an honor, it is a privilege to have Kansas City as our brothers. You are our brothers. We love you. I mean, we look forward to doing great things with you, doing some great works with you, sharing some great ideas together that's going to help to save lives of men in our community from a disease that's claiming lives. And I still call this disease an epidemic in the community, and it must be addressed, and it's being addressed by two great organizations, the Empowerment Network here in the St. Louis community and also the Prostate Network in Kansas City. Thank you guys so very much for your friendship, and for your kindness.
Thank you.
And we cannot wait to meet you all in May.
Yeah.
Bring some
and this won't be the last show. This will not be the last show. We didn't even cover half of the notes, so we're gonna have to do this again. But the clock on the wall said that's all the end of another great show. Boy, hour goes fast when you're talking to friends and you learning about your health. A big thank you to our guest today, calling in all the way from Kansas City, Missouri, Steve and Caesar. A big thank you to our engineer, Ashley. Great job, y'all. Let's give it up to Ashley, y'all. And thank you to the real stars of our show. You, our listening audience, tune in each and every Sunday at 5 to another edition of the Healthy Focus radio show. And our quote for today is, surround yourself with people who push you, who challenge you, who make you laugh, who make you better, and who make you happy, like our friends in Kansas City is doing to the Empowerment Network today. St. Louis, stay up, stay blessed, stay positive. I'm your host today, Brother Melvin Shaheed. with the lady with the big smile.
It's Beverly Dodson.
And Riri, you gonna be here next? Oh, you gonna be in the house next
Don't
week?
play with me. Yeah, we're gonna get in. Okay.
Okay.
Signing off, St. Louis.
Thank you, St. Louis, for tuning in to the Healthy Focus Radio Show. Join them again next week as they bring you another special guest as they educate the St. Louis community on health issues we face every day. The Dream Team of Health will see you again next week, same time, here on KXEN.